Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'd like to talk a little bit about the historical context of Thanksgiving. It all goes back to what was happening in Britain during the 17th century. In the early years of the century, the Puritans became ascendant in Britain, marginalizing the high Protestant church, the Anglican church, and accusing it of mimicking the procedures and the rituals of the Catholic Church. And of course, those few remaining Catholics from the time before Henry VIII converted Britain were outright persecuted by the Protestants, by the Puritans. And the Puritans proceeded to behead the king, Charles I, and Cromwell, the leader of the Puritans, took over Britain and set up a commonwealth, for the first time killing off the monarchy, and spent 40 years ruling Britain without a king. During this period, the Anglicans, the high Protestants, decided it was time to get the hell out of Britain before they were in serious trouble. And they fled Britain and they went to Jamestown in Virginia, landing in 1607 and settling permanently there a couple of years after. And for the early half of the 17th century, British migration went to Virginia, and they were called the Cavaliers. They were the wealthy, the landowners, the aristocrats, the slave owners, and they founded Virginia and set up the idea of a slaveholding, class-oriented society in America's South. Then the balance of power in Britain switched, and Cromwell died, the Puritans lost power, the public demanded the restoration of the monarchy. Charles II, the son of the executed Charles I, became the king again, and the Puritans were in disfavor. And then the Puritans decided to get out of Dodge and left Britain in the latter years of the 17th century. And they went to the Plymouth Bay Colony in Massachusetts. Plymouth Rock, Thanksgiving, the Puritans, the whole bit. And they set up an entirely different society. One that was not slaveholding, was not based on large plantations, based on small family plots, the beginnings of manufacturing and even industry, and an ethic of working for a living as opposed to being part of the upper class, which dominated the ethic in Virginia. And that spawned two completely different ethics in America: the northern industrial, hardworking, thrifty ethic, and the southern slaveholding, plantation-owning, class-oriented, hunting and horseback riding ethic that ultimately metastasized into the American Civil War, which really mirrored the English Civil War that was fought during the 17th century. So you have to see Plymouth Rock within that context. But the turkey still tastes good, and I wish you a happy Thanksgiving.